In the heart of Umui's village, nestled between the whispering woods where trees hummed songs of ancient spirits and the river whispered secrets to who listened, two girls were born moments apart under the same thatched roof, Adora and Oluchi, identical in face, inseparable in spirit. From the moment they could crawl, they moved as one. They played under the moonlight's gentle glow, fetched water from the stream with their laughter echoing through the forest path, roasted corn by the roadside and danced barefoot under the huge iroko tree during village festivals. They even shared secrets and dream, in fact, they did everything together. Their laughter was one sound, their thoughts often one. Even their mother once found it hard to tell them apart until they grew older, when Adora became known for her graceful calmness and Oluchi for her fierce cheer. One night, under the full moon as their foot dangled into the cool stream, with fingers locked tightly, they made a vow.
No matter what happened, we will never be separated. Not by distance, not by desire, and not even by any man. No man will come between us.
Adora said.
If any man must marry one, then he must marry the both of us. We will always be together.
Oluchi replied, sealing the path with a pinky promise. Their parents laughed when they heard of the vow, brushing it off as childhood fantasy. The village mocked them for their childish vow.
When the right man comes, all these moonlight promises will scatter like ashes in Harmattan wind.
The elders would say, but the girls paid them no mind. As the years passed, it became clear that they meant every word. As the twins blossomed into young women, suitors came, handsome traders, wealthy palm oil merchants, even a traveling preacher. Yet each one was turned away if he can't marry the both of them. One by one, the young men walked away, discouraged by their strange vow. Even their father tried to convince them to let go of their vow, reminding them of customs, of how no man could take two wives at once in their family line. The two sisters still remained firm. Their bond was their law. Until Akala came, a rich handsome young farmer. He was tall, dark, and strong. He had heard of the twin sisters of Umuiz and had seen Adora from afar at the village market. Her poise captured him, and he knew instantly that he had found the woman he wanted to call his wife. He came to their compound, bearing gifts, yam, goat, coral beads, and nuts. He asked for Adora's hand in marriage, but before Adora could speak, Oluchi stepped forward, her voice clear and firm. She repeated their vow.
You cannot marry Adora alone. No. You must marry the both of us, or none of us at all.
Akala was shocked. His eyes drifted back to Adora, who was standing behind her sister Oluchi, her soft expression bore no resistance. She had made a promise to her sister, and her heart could never betray it. Akala felt torn, but his desire for Adora was deeper than reason and he couldn't bear to lose her, so he agreed. A celebration was held. The villagers were stunned. Two sisters married to one man. Tongues wagged, but the family rejoiced. Adora and Oluchi wore matching white wrappers, coral necklaces, and anklets that jingled as they danced to their husbands' home. That night, the wind carried whispers of bond that had defied the tradition. It was the first time in the village that two sisters married the same man. At first, the house was quiet. Akala tried to divide his time, but his heart always pulled towards Adora. She was the one he dreamt of, the one whose touch lingered, the one whose voice soothed him after a long day. He longed to go to the market with just her, to whisper things and joke beneath the plantain trees. But Adora made it impossible. She would always say, "Let's wait for Oluchi." When they fetched water, "Oluchi must come with us, let's wait for her." Even in the dark night, when he tried to steal quiet moments, Oluchi would appear, her presence gentle but firm, never jealous, never intrusive, just there. Always there. Akala began to feel like a guest in his own marriage. One day, he tried to talk to Adora.
Must she always be there? I mean, following us around?
Adora only smiled.
Yes, my dear husband. She must always be there. She's part of me. She's my other half.
Akala wasn't happy about that. His heart belonged solely to Adora. But he tried to show love to both sisters. When he bought 2 embroidered wrappers, he gave one to Adora, and the other to Oluchi. When he brought 2 woven fan from his journey, he handed it to Adora and Oluchi. When he bought 2 golden bracelets, he handed it to the both of them. But Oluchi began to notice something. Adora always got her gift first. The wrappers given to her were always slightly more vibrant. The fans given to her were more detailed, and even when Akala pretended not to choose, his eyes lingered longer on Adora. Whenever they went to the market, Akala always volunteered to carry Adora's basket. When they walked, he always walked beside Adora. When they went to the farm, Akala laughed heartily with Adora, his hands brushing hers, while Oluchi walked behind in silence. The laughter that once echoed between the 2 sisters began to thin like morning mist. One day, Akala brought 2 strands of beads, one red and the other gold. Adora received the gold, and without hesitation, she gave it to Oluchi and chose the red instead. But Oluchi knew. She could feel the difference. The gold strand was special, heavier, and smoother. Akala's eyes had lingered when he placed it on Adora's palm. Adora didn't mean to hurt her sister. Whenever she noticed Akala giving her more, she would share it with Oluchi. If she got 2 bracelets, she gave one to her sister. If Akala bought her 2 beads and only one for Oluchi, Adora would give one of hers to Oluchi, but it wasn't enough. Villagers began to notice. The market women whispered behind their stalls.
Akala loves Adora more. He always stands close to her. Akala bought 3 beads from me instead of 4. 2 must be for Adora. He should have married one instead of pretending to love the both of them. Akala bought 1 expensive wrapper and 1 cheap wrapper from me. I know the expensive one must definitely be for Adora and the cheap one for Oluchi. Akala bought a gold bead and a red bead from me. The gold bead must definitely be for Adora.
Oluchi heard the gossip. The words cut deeper than any blade. The promise they made as children, the vow to share everything, even their love for each other, was fading. And even though Adora remained true to the vow, always sharing, always including, Oluchi saw it now. Akala's love was not balanced. The vow had been sacred to both of them, but the man they had married loved only one. And no matter how Adora tried to make it fair, the gap between them widened. At night, Oluchi lay awake while her sister slept beside her. She stared up and asked herself,
Did we make a mistake? This is not how it was meant to be.
Day by day, Oluchi's sadness grew. But sadness turned to jealousy, and jealousy slowly turned to bitterness. The love that once joined the sisters together was now being tested. And as Oluchi watched as Akala loved Adora more and more, something dangerous began to grow in her heart, something beyond jealousy and bitterness. Morning, Akala woke Adora up, touched her face gently and whispered to her that he wanted to walk with her before the sun fully rose. Adora refused at first, reminding him that Oluchi was still sleeping and wouldn't like being left behind. But his constant urging and sweet words made her compromise. She stood up, adjusted her wrapper and followed him. They walked hand in hand through the whispering trees, giggling, humming softly to the wind. Everywhere was quiet, the soft rustle of their feet was the only sound. Back at home, Oluchi woke up, her eyes scanning the room. Her twin sister Adora and their husband Akala were not on the mat beside her. She got up quickly and walked out of the room. She stood outside, with her hands on her waist, her wrapper loosely tied. Her eyes roamed the open yard, the small cooking hut, the nearby footpath that led to the farm bush, but there was no one in sight. Her heart boiled, not just from their absence, but from the betrayal of being left out. She stood there still, staring, her jaw clenched. But as her anger grew, a realization came. This moment, this stolen time, was a gift in disguise. It was the perfect time to do something evil. She quickly grabbed her bag and ran into the forest beyond the village. She was going to find a special plant, a powerful plant known to only few. It doesn't kill. It doesn't hurt inside. But it ruined beauty. A bitter herb that when crushed on the skin would cause disfiguring rashes and oozing blisters. Her late grandmother had been a powerful herbalist and had taught her many secrets, unlike Adora, who had been very playful and couldn't learn most of the secret. She moved quickly through the trees, past spider webs and hidden paths, searching the shadowed base of the old roots. After what felt like an hour, she found it, dark green with purple veins. She crushed some leaves on her fingers. The smell was bitter. This was it. She plucked enough, put it in her bag, and rushed back home. When she got back, Akala and Adora still hadn't returned. Oluchi smiled. She ran behind the hut and buried the herbs, then washed her hand in ash and water. She sat down calmly, waiting like nothing happened. Soon, Akala and Adora returned, laughing and holding hands. Oluchi smiled at them sweetly. She acted like she wasn't angry at all. That afternoon, as the sun rose, Adora wanted all three of them to bathe together like they always did. But Akala quickly said that he had some emergency to attend to at the farm and would bathe when he returns, and Oluchi lied that she already had her bath when she woke up. Adora, already sweaty, nodded and went to prepare her bath. She couldn't wait for Akala to return. As soon as Adora went inside to change up, Oluchi rushed to the hidden spot behind the hut, dug up the herb, and squeezed the juice into the warm water her sister had prepared. Adora had her bath and came out smiling, feeling fresh. The next day passed with no changes. Her skin was smooth. The second day, a few itchy spots appeared on her face. But by the third day, her skin began to swell. Red rashes crept across her neck and shoulders. Painful bumps grew along her face and legs. Her once smooth skin became rough. Adora thought it was a reaction from her cream. She stopped using it, but the rashes only grew worse. Akala was restless. He bought soaps, herbal lotions from nearby villages and even called a local herbalist. But nothing worked. Adora was in pain. Each day, Adora cried silently, afraid to look in the mirror. Oluchi watched. She had thought that making her sister ugly would make Akala stop loving her, but the opposite happened. Akala became more loving. He sat beside Adora, wiped her face, fed her and comforted her. The more Adora suffered, the more tender and loving Akala became. Oluchi burned inside. The pain she had caused was real. But instead of breaking the bond between them, it brought Akala and Adora closer. Guilt took over her. She couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. She hated herself. Every time she saw her sister in pain, her heart broke. One evening, as she sat alone near the cooking hut, tears rolled down her face.
How did we come to this?
She remembered how they used to laugh, bathe in the stream, play under the moonlight, making vow never to be apart, and now this.
How did I let jealousy make me do this? A man made me do this to my sister.
She stood up and wiped her tears. She knew what she had to do. Before the sunrise the next morning, Oluchi tied her scarf again and returned to the forest. This time, she searched for the cure, the leaf of golden root, known only to those trained by ancient herbalists. Her late grandmother had once shown it to her. After a long search, she found it. She came home and secretly crushed the leaf inside Adora's pomade. Days passed. Slowly, Adora's skin began to heal. The rashes dried, the bumps faded, and her soft glowing skin returned. The pain left her face and her smile returned. Akala was overjoyed. He danced, sang, and even gave thanks to the gods. But Oluchi stood silent, her heart heavy. As her sister regained her beauty, she realized for the first time, Adora was never the enemy, it was Akala. He was the reason she had become jealous. He had made her feel left out, unloved, invisible and less than her sister. He was the one who made her turn into someone she never thought she could be. He had broken their sisterhood. The vow they made was sacred. A promise to stay together, to never let anyone come between them.
No man will ever come between us,
she whispered aloud. And now, she knew what she had to do next. She was going to protect that vow. She was going to make things right. If Akala couldn't love them both equally, then he wouldn't love either. He had no right to stay. And this time, he would be the one to suffer. She was going to get rid of him.